Developing right now, investigators are still at a home in northeast Albuquerque where two people were found dead yesterday.
And this morning, there are still many questions as to what may have happened there. News 13's David Romero is live at the scene near Tramway and Parkview with more. David, what can you tell us?
Elizabeth, just a few moments ago, literally, they just broke down the tape here in front of the house on Park. If you take a look behind me, you can see that the crime scene van is still set up, and they have been out here since about 6 o'clock last night. They still continue to be pretty tight-lipped about the investigation. All we know right now is that police found a man and woman dead inside the home on Parkview. This is near I-40 and Tramway. Now, police are not commenting on their ages or cause of death. Officers are also not saying whether this is a double murder or a murder-suicide. Neighbors have been standing around earlier last night when everything started, and they were shocked by what was going on.
This is very unusual for anyone to see something like this. We're just not used to it. That's what's going through my mind. I don't want to hear something like that around the neighborhood. It's just awful.
And again, as we mentioned, the officers here on scene are wrapping up the investigation. The mobile crime lab is still set up out here. Medical examiners were called to the scene last night, and police still have not said how the two people know each other or if they are related. Now, we also tried to seek if there was a police sergeant on scene that could comment, and we have not found anybody yet. Elizabeth, back to you.
All right, David, thank you very much. You want to make sure you stay with KRQE News 13. We'll, of course, we'll have more on this case for you both on air and online as it develops. Happening now, we are waiting to hear when former prominent attorney Carlos Fierro will be set free. Fierro is scheduled to walk out of prison today. He was sentenced to serve 7 years in prison for the hit-and-run DWI crash that killed a pedestrian, William Tenorio, back in 2008. Fierro has only served less than 4 years of his sentence. The power is back on to more than 1,000 homes and businesses in the North Valley this morning after a train derailment knocks out power. 2 cars from a BNSF local delivery freight train somehow got off of its tracks in an industrial area south of Paseo del Norte yesterday evening. The cars, which were filled with lumber, hit a power pole. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
Later today, the family of a missing mom in Las Vegas, New Mexico will be passing out more flyers of the men they say kidnapped and possibly even killed the young woman. Cindy Rivera was last seen back on June 30th when she left her father's house in the morning. Investigators have not said a whole lot about this case, but they tell us they have done searches from the air and served a search warrant at the home of the father of one of Rivera's 2 kids. The family says it thinks he is involved and is now passing out pictures of him and the other men, hoping it helps investigators.
Please have sympathy on me and let me know where my daughter is. If she's alive, please give her back. We'll give you the reward. And if she's dead, let me know where the body is so I could at least give my daughter a proper burial.
Well, there's now a $5,000 reward for information that helps investigators find Cindy Rivera. The young mother from Colorado whose baby died after investigators say a repeat drunk driver slammed into her car here in New Mexico is now facing attacks on the internet. Eileen Smith was on CNN on Monday telling the story of the crash and how she gave birth right after it, but that her son, Dimitri, lived for just a minute. Now Smith wants New Mexico to have tougher DWI laws. After seeing her story, some folks are making nasty comments online, calling Smith dirty names and saying even worse things that we can't repeat right now. Smith tells us she's simply advocating for her dead son's rights. A couple from Ruidoso Downs has pled not guilty in the death of a 3-year-old boy. Paz Israel Primera and his girlfriend, Savannah Morales, say they did not kill Primera's son, Paz Jr. He was 3 years old. Investigators say he died last month from getting hit in the stomach. The little boy also had a broken wrist and bruises on his neck. The couple's attorneys say that when Paz Jr. died, Morales was on her way to Tularosa and Primera was at work.
Happening again, it's happened again. Another government employee is facing charges this morning from stealing from you, the taxpayer. A firefighter for the U.S. Bureau of Land Management is accused of using government credit card numbers to run up thousands of dollars in charges. 29-year-old Nicholas Mondragon faces federal charges of theft and fraud for buying heavy equipment and tools at stores in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. He also allegedly tried to buy a $2,500 pair of binoculars. Inspectors will be checking out Fire Station 1 in downtown Albuquerque this morning to make sure that the bats that took over the place are now all out. For now, firefighters are working out of other stations while Animal Control clears out the fruit bats. This is some footage of them right there. So far, animal control officers have captured and killed 21 bats. All of them will be tested for rabies. At this point, it's not known how the bats got into the building.
You know, I don't want to alarm anybody, but, you know, you always want to take precautions when you're dealing with a wild animal anyways.
AFD says response times have not been affected.
A traffic heads up to tell you about now. Part of a popular street in downtown Albuquerque will be closed for a few days to help a movie starring two very popular actors. The overpass on Lead from Broadway to 2nd Street is set to be closed from tomorrow morning until Tuesday night for the movie Two Guns. That is the one that stars, ladies hold your breath, Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. It's about a DEA agent and an undercover naval intelligence officer who gets set up by the mob. We have not heard if Mr. Washington and Mr. Wahlberg will be making an appearance here in Albuquerque, but they are someplace around New Mexico shooting the movie.
I shouldn't hold my breath.